ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्दा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 89, verse number 10. So in the previous class we read how the sages who had assembled at the bank of Saraswati river to do Satra or long yajna, they wanted to know who is supreme among the three devas, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. And they appointed Bhrigu, son of Brahma, to do a check on it. So he goes to Shiva first, and Shiva comes to embrace him, but he tells him, no, you are an unclean person. Then Shiva comes with his trident to kill him, and Parvati stops him. Then he goes to Brahma and does not bow down to him. So Brahma gets angry but controls it. Then he goes to Vishnu and kicks him on his chest and Vishnu gets up and respects him, gives him a seat to sit down and ask for forgiveness. So now he says, Ativ Kamlau Tata Charnau Te Mahamute Iti Uktva Vipra Charnau Mardayan Svena Panina. He took hold of the feet of, or rather, feet of Bhrigu Muni and said that your feet are very tender and my chest is very hard. So they must be paining because you kicked my hard chest. And by saying, he started massaging his feet with his own hand. Comment on this. Tvaya abhigaman abhyuthanadina mat sammana न करनात् तविदम आश्नम न स्वीकरामीति चेत सत्यम मन्मः अपराधम खलु अभूत एव तत्र तत्कृपा एव मे गतिरिति अजानताम्. This is comment on the previous, what is his 10. So punihi saha lokam mam lokpalansh madgatan padodakena bhavatas tirthanam tirthakarana. He said that please purify me by your grace along with all the lokpalas which are inside me and all the planets which are also within me. The water from your feet is the most holy because it purifies even the holy places. So that means he washed his feet as was the custom and then took that water on his head. Yadi chaimam mahapradham api shantvan eva asi tarhi dehi padodkam ityahu punihiti. If you have forgiven me for this big offense which I have committed to you, then please allow me to wash your feet so I can purify myself with the water that has washed your feet. With that he speaks this verse. Tirthanam gangadinam api tirthatva karana iti etat praptya eva gangadini tirthani abhuvan ityartha. The water which has washed your feet is purifying even the holy places like Ganga river. It is only because of this water that they acquire the quality of being holy, tirthas. Atra bhrigu krite etavati aparadhe kshamayeva sattva dharma pratyut swasya aparadhitva mananena tat prasadhanam yadetat shuddha sattva dharma geya. So he says that Bhrigu actually did the offense to Bhagavan by kicking him. But Bhagavan forgave him and rather he is considering himself as an offender. So the first part that he forgives him for the offense, that is the sattva guna. And the second part that he is thinking that he has done the offense, that is vishuddha sattva. Adyaham Bhagavan Lakshmya Asam Ekanta Bhajanam Vatsasi Urusi Me Bhutir Bhavat Padahatam Hasaha. Says, today by kicking me on my chest you have made me qualified to be the shelter of Lakshmi Devi. Now she will reside on my chest, which you have purified by the touch of your foot. So now, me bhutir bhavat padhatam hasa. So this will bring me opulence because I have become purified by the kick from your foot. So this is supreme humility on his part, that it is Bhrigu who committed the offense and Bhrigu should ask for forgiveness, but it is Narayana who is asking forgiveness. This cannot be seen anywhere in the material world. People become upset, and at the most somebody will say, okay, I don't take any offense. But to feel that you have offended, that's beyond anybody's conception. Nanu cha tubhyam tvat priyaye premvatye lakshmai cha dukkham dadanasya mama kalpa narkesvayo vaso bhavishyati. So if Bhrigu says that I have committed a big offense to you and to your beloved Lakshmi Devi, I have caused you pain, therefore I will go to hell till the end of this kalpa. So, yadi adya pamar viprasya mahapapani mama apavitra padastvad vakshashi lagna iti anutap jarjare sati tasmin bhaumune kripa sandho. And today this lowly Brahman has touched this feet which is impure on your chest. If Bhrigu is feeling morose or repenting like this, then he is saying Bhaumune Kripa Sindhu. He is saying, O sage, you are the ocean of grace. Avyastvam paramam utsavam eva kritvanasi. You have actually given us as an occasion for happiness, like a festival, because today my chest has become the true abode for Lakshmi. Sri Shuka Vacha, Sukdev said, Evam Brahmane Vaikunthe Bhragustan Mandraya Gira Nirvirtas Tarpitas Tushnim Bhakti Utkantho Shrilojanaha. When Bhagavan Vishnu was speaking like this to Bhrigu, then Bhrigu could not say anything. He was completely satisfied, happy, and out of devotion for Bhagavan, his voice was completely choked and there were tears in his eyes. He could not speak at all because he could not believe that somebody can behave like this. In comparison to this, he has not done any offense to Shiva and he wanted to kill him. In case of Brahma, you can say that being disrespectful to him was offense, but still nothing like what he did here. And then it is Narayana who is asking for forgiveness. So this is most amazing. Mandreya Gambhirya Tushnimiti. So Lord spoke in a very deep voice and Bhrigu could not utter one word, he remained silent. Ashri Ruddha Kanthatvena Stuti Artha Ata Stutya Samarthyat. His voice was choked so much that he was unable to even recite any prayers. Atra Bhagavad Leela Vinod Sutra Dhara Nartitasya Bhrigor Etat Karmani Naparadho Vacheti Prancha. The earlier scholars have said that there was no offense done on part of Bhrigu because whatever happened here, this was all done by the Leela potency of Bhagavan. It was his will, he wanted this to happen so that his glory will come out. Otherwise this is a very big offense on part of Bhrigu. Punascha satram avrajya muninam brahmavadinam svanubhutam sheshena rajan Bhrigu ravarnayat. So he again returned back to the assembly of the sages, the knower of the Vedas, Maninam Brahmavadinam, and he related everything what he had experienced. So everybody heard his interesting experience. Tannishamyat munyo vishmita mukta samshaya ha bhuyansam sraddha dhuru vishnum yata shantir yato bhayam. So after hearing this story, the sages were struck with wonder and all their doubts were dispelled. They had no doubt anymore who is the Supreme. And bhuyansam sraddha dhuru vishnum. So they had supreme Shraddha in Vishnu after hearing this, because who else could do like this? So yatah shantir yato abhayam. It is from him that the peace comes, and it is from him that fearlessness comes. So they understood that if one wants peace, if one wants fearlessness, that comes only by the grace of Vishnu. Thus they had supreme trust in him. No more doubt who is worshipable and who is not. Dharma sakshad yato jnanam vairagyam cha tadanvitam Aishwaryam cha astradha yasmat yasascha atma lapaham. And he is the source of dharma, knowledge, vairagya, and also the 8 types of Aishwaryas, and the pure form of fame, yasascha atma malapaham, that which dispels all impurities of self. Means by taking shelter of Vishnu, one becomes completely purified and gets dharma, jnana, vairagya, aishwarya. All these qualities manifest in such a person. So he explains what does dharma mean here. Sakshat dharma. Dharma here means the direct dharma, not this dharma in the form of giving charity, etc., but Shravan Kirtan Adi Lakshana. Yata Sakshat Padasya Sarvatra Anvayat. Because the word Sakshat is used, the dharma which is directly the dharma. So that is devotion, means all these devotional activities. Jnanam, knowledge. What does knowledge means here? Knowledge in the form of experience of Bhagavan. Tadanvitam iti jnane api anvayat. And then this bhakti and jnana, they are together. Means this knowledge is not just pure knowledge, but it is with the devotion. As it is said, Bhakti paresanu bhavo viraktir anyatra chaisha trika eka kalam trikasya yogpadyam ekadasoptam eva atrapi drashtavya. So there it is said that bhakti, knowledge of Bhagavan, and vairagya, they all come together. So prapadyamanasya yathasmitasya shraddha bhaktir gatir anukramishyati. So these 3 things come together. That is what is being described here, that there is dharma here means bhakti, and then jnana and vairagya. Chaturvidhamiti pathe chaturvarga uplakshana chaturvarga apeksha lakshanam eva chaturvid vairagyam. So vairagyam cha chaturvidham, there is a reading like this some places. So instead of tadanvitam, it is said that 4 types of vairagya. So That is another reading. Natu shushkam ast dhayashvaryam. And this is not just some dry renunciation, but it comes with the Aishwarya. Bhakter ananu samhitam phalam yaduktam Sri Kapil Devan. So this is as an outcome of bhakti, as it is said by Kapila also. Atho vibhutim mam maya yachitam aishwarasyamashtangam anupravrittam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam vas prihanti bhakta parasya mete snuvate hi loke yasascha shrotur janasya atmano manso malam matsaram aphanti tat. So he says that when one attains Bhagavan, then one gets my vibhuti, which is free from Maya, and it is in the form of 8 types of Aishwarya. And there is opulence, which is transcendental, and they enjoy it in the abode of Bhagavan. There is also fame, which purifies the mind and heart of the person who hears it, becomes free from all envy and jealousy. Then Muninam Nyastadandanam Shantanam Samchetasam Akinchananam Sadhunam Yamahu Paramam Gatim. So this Vishnu is called the supreme goal of achievement for the Munis who have given up all type of violence, envy, etc., and who are peaceful and equanimous in their heart. They don't have any sense of possessiveness and they are well behaved. So Vishnu is the destination of that. Muninamiti atra muni shanta sadhava ek ek visheshan yukta mumuksha mukta bhakta gaya. So he says that Muni here refers to those who are looking for moksha, and Shanta, peaceful, is referring to those who have attained mukti, and Sadhu is referring to those who are devotees. So these 3 adjectives, they refer to 3 different type of people. Sattvam yasya priya murti brahmanastu ishta devataha bhajanti anashisha shanta yamvan nipuna buddhaya. So he says that his murti is sattva, he is in sattva guna, and brahmanas are his worshipable, and those who are niskam bhaktas, they worship him peacefully, the intelligent people. So the real intelligent people are those who take to devotion to Krishna. They are the most intelligent people, nipuna, expert, and only they are peaceful. Tasya triguna titatve api sattvam priya murti satvik loka priya ityartha. Although Bhagavan is beyond trigunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, but still people who are in sattva, they are dear to him. And even among them, the devotee brahmanas are very dear. Tatrapi brahmana priyatara ishtadeva tulyatvena adarniya yam va yam eva va bhajanti. So he worships brahmanas, or brahmanas worship him. Trividha kritayastasya rakshasa surasuraha guninyamaya shishta sattvam tattirtha sadhanam. And he has 3 types of creation of rakshasas, asuras, and suras. So rakshasa tamasic, asuras are rajasic, and devas, suras are sattvic. All this creation is done by his maya, which consists of 3 gunas. and Sattvam Tattirtha Sadhanam. And Sattva Guna is the way to approach him. Nanu nirgunasya tasya gunai katham priti sambhavet tatra tasya audasinyam eva uchitam. So somebody may ask question that if he is nirguna, then how is it that he has priti in sattva guna? He cannot have any liking for the gunas, being free from gunas himself. So then he says that tatraha trividha yadyapi tasyeva samyaktaya kritaya srajya, that although he has three types of creation through his maya, but among them what he likes is the sattvika people, sattva gunas. Sattvam tirth sadhanam purushartha hetu. Tirth sadhan means it is through sattva that one can approach him. Jagat palakasya kripalos tasya jivi hita drishtya eva satyam privad bhasmanatvadev premna tu vastuta. Because he takes the responsibility to maintain the world, therefore out of compassion for the benefit of living beings, he has liking for sattva. Otherwise, in true sense, he has no liking for sattva also, because he likes only Vishuddha sattva, but only to benefit the people. Iti guneshu audasinyam eva. So in reality, he is indifferent to all the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Sri Shuka Vacha. Sri Shukdev concludes this story now. Evam sarasvata vipra nirnam samsyanuttaye purushasya padam bhoja sevaya tad gatim gataha. So in this way, the Brahmanas who had assembled at the bank of Saraswati river, so they performed this activity to actually remove the doubt of human beings or people in general about who is worshipable. So therefore they have established this Siddhanta. And they, naturally being devoted to Purushottama Sri Vishnu, they attained him, Sri Vishnu. So this is the end of this particular story in this chapter. And now another story starts. Sri Suta Vacha. Yes, Purushottam Prabhu.
I was thinking, could this be taken like Sattva Guna, Vishnu got the most punished, while Tamas and Rajas got less punished. So could we also probably extrapolate that those who are practicing Sattva Guna in devotion, they will get severely punished for whatever they do, or is in proportionally to Tamo Guna and Raja Guna?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't scare now. Already people don't take to bhakti. So Sri Suta Vacha, Sri Suta Goswami says, Iti etan muni tanayasya padam gandha piyusham bhavya bhit parasya pumsaha shuslokam shravan putai pabanta bhikshnam panthvadva bhrana parishramam jahati. So Suta Goswami is praising his Guru Sukadeva Goswami. So he says, Eti etat muni tanaya asya padam gandha piyusham shravan putai pibati bhikshnam. He says, anyone who drinks this nectar, piyusha, which is coming from the lotus fragrant mouth of son of Vyasa. And this piyusha, this amrit is of the Supreme Person who destroys the fear of material existence. So one who drinks it with the cup of his ears, then he becomes free from all labor of wandering here in this material world. So pantho adva brahman parishramam jahati. In this material world, everybody is a traveler. We are always traveling. Nobody is stationary, because the earth itself is moving and our mind is also moving. So there is a lot of traveling we do every day in this material world. Therefore, even if you just sit, you get tired. Right? So adha brahmana parishramam jahati, one becomes free from this parishrama, the labor of traveling, if one drinks this wonderful nectar of Bhagavan's pastime through the ears, which is coming out from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. So this is Sut Goswami praising his Guru Sukadeva and also of course the pastimes of Bhagavan. So now Sukadeva Goswami, he tells another story. Because this story has established Vishnu as supreme among the three devas. But he wants to now establish that Vishnu is fine. Beyond Vishnu is Krishna. So that is the story which is coming now. That how Krishna is superior among all forms of Vishnu. That is the intention of this story. So Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Sukadeva said, Ekda dvaravattyam tu viprapatnya kumarakaha jata matro bhuvam sprishtva mamara kila bharata. So he said that, O Parikshit, once upon a time in Dwarka there was a Brahmana and his wife was pregnant. She gave birth to a baby. As soon as the baby was born, he died. He was not stillborn. He was not dead by birth. He was alive when he was born, but then he died. So there was commentary on previous verse. Padma gandha piyusam iti upakhyanasya asya piyushatvat bhavarog nivartakatvam. He says that the previous story which we read, that was Padma gandha piyusha, that was the nectar having the fragrance of lotus flower. And with that nectar, one becomes free from the disease of material conditioning. Padma gandhatvat bhakta madhukara akarshakatvam. And because it has the fragrance of lotus flower, so it attracts devotees who are like the bumblebees. And that is the commentary. Tadevam bhagavataha eva sarvotkarsam uktva bhagavatve api krishnasya sarva mahotkarsham bhaktum kimapi tacharita mahayagdaiti. So in this way, after describing supremacy of Vishnu among all devas, now Sukadeva Goswami wants to establish the supremacy of Sri Krishna beyond Vishnu also. So he starts relating this story. Although no question was asked, nothing, he himself begins it. Ekda iti. Vipro grihitva mritaka rajdwari upadhaya sa idam provacha vilpan aturo dina manasaha. So this Brahmana, he took the dead boy at the entrance of the palace of the king, that is Ugrasena. Ugrasena was the king, and kept the dead body there and spoke as follows, that is in the upcoming slokas. While he was crying and full of distress and grieving, Dina Manas. So previously this was understanding that the son should not die before the father. And if the son dies before the father, then it is because of some sinful act. And it could be the sinful act of the Brahmana himself is pious, so it is not his sinful act, then it is the sinful act of the king. If king is impious, then people have to suffer. Community karma. So he also suffered the karma of the king. So therefore he is coming to blame the king. And this is what he is blaming. Brahma dushaha shatadhiyo lubdhasya vishayatmanaha kshatrabandho karma doshat panchatvam me gator bhakaha. He says that this king is a Brahma dusha. He is hater of the Brahmanas. And Shatadhiya, he is wicked fellow. He is greedy and he is very much absorbed into sense pleasure. He is a Kshatriya bandhu, he is not a qualified Kshatriya. And because of his karma doshat, Panchat, my child had died. So it's very easy to blame others, right? The easiest thing is point finger at others, not at yourself. So this Brahmana is blaming the king because he thinks that he has not done anything wrong. Buddhism is probably not allowed. Cannot go to the Prime Minister's house and start speaking like this. You'll be thrown out by the security guards. What to speak of kings who had absolute power. But you see, he was able to do that. That means Brahmanas were respected and they could even attack verbally the king. So Kshatra bandhoriti maina kopi dosha ato raj dosheneva matpitro mrita. So he is saying that this king is not a qualified king, he is a Kshatra bandhu, means a fallen Kshatriya. And there is no flaw in my part. All the defects are in the king. So this is amazing that your son dies and you blame the king for that. How does he know? Has he seen the karma? Can you see? Gehana karmano gati kim karma karmeti kavyapyatra mohita tatte karam pravakshami gehana karmano gati. Krishna says it's very difficult to figure out what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. But the Brahmana was able to see that the child died because of the bad karma of Ugrasena. Hinsa viharam nirpatim dushila majitendriyam praja bhajantyah sidanti daridra nitya dukkhitaha. He says that this king is always engaged in violence, he is of ill character, he has no control over his senses, and people who are serving him, such a king, then definitely they are going to be in trouble. So, Siddhanti Daridra Nitya Dukkhita, they will become poor, lose all their money, and they will be in great suffering. And all the time, Nitya Dukkhita. So much criticism he is giving. So after singing his song, then he left. How long he is going to speak? Nobody listened to him. Nobody came out. So he took the dead body of the son and went away. Sometimes people protest like that. Somebody get killed, they bring out the dead body, put on the road, make a big demonstration. In India it happens many times. Evam dutiyam viprarshi tritiyam tuevam evacha visrajya sanirpdvari tam gatham sagayataha. So then he got second son, he also died. Then he got the third son, he also died. So he will bring them and he will leave them. He doesn't take the dead body, he leaves them and goes away after speaking the same type of statements. Stam gatham samgayata. As if he is singing a song about it. So he comes, he sings his song of criticism, then leaves the body and goes away. So this happened again. Tam Brahma Dusha Ityadikam Gatham. So what is the Gatha? Gatha is saying that you are this, you are that, you are not taking care of the people. So all this he speak. So now the story moves further. Tam Arjuna Shrutya Karichit Keshavantike Parete Navme Bale Brahmanam Samabhashata. So like that 9 children died, one after another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for 9 years at least his sons were being born and dying. So then came the 9th child. He is coming. Every time he comes and leaves the dead body and goes away. So he did that. When he was there for 9th time, then Arjuna was there. And Arjuna heard him speak like this. Upsrutya. Upsrutya means like some 2 people are talking and third person hears it. Brahmana was not speaking to Arjuna. And Arjuna was with Krishna. So Arjuna was sitting with Krishna, a Brahmana came and he heard this. And 9 children had died. Kim swid brahmanstvan nivase ye nasti dhanurdharaha rajanya bandhurete vai brahmana satra asate. So when the 9th children was ninth one was dead, then Arjuna heard it and he spoke to the Brahmana as follows. So Arjuna started speaking in a big, proudly manner. He says, "Oh Brahmana," he says, "Tvannivasa nasti dhanurdhara." He says, in this city there are no dhanudharas, bowmen. Rajanya bandhu rehte, all these people are just Rajanya bandhu. They are not real Kshatriyas. Brahmana satra asate, they are like Brahmanas engaged in yajna, not performing their duties. He spoke like this. So Keshavasya antike vartmana stam gatham upshrutya parampariyena shrutva brahmanam upetya samyak sashvasanam uccairuvacha. So Arjuna was with Krishna. He heard this all whatever the Brahmana spoke, and then he went to the Brahmana, and consoling him, he spoke in the following manner. Brahman ityadi Sagaurav Sambodhanam Tasya. So with great pride he spoke, and this was mainly to give him solace, Vishwasanartham cha Tatratyanam Tadupeksha Dos Vyanjanartham cha. And he was finding fault with the people who were there. Rajanya Bandhuripi Kimitu Rajanya Ityartha. He says they are not kings, but they are simply bandhu, means not qualified. That was, I read the wrong commentary. This was Jiva Goswami. Vishnu Chakravarti says Rajanya Bandhuriti Nikrishta Kshatriyopi Nasti. He says Rajanya Bandhu means that they are not even fallen Kshatriyas. Brahmanyasya ka varta, what to speak of worshipping the Brahmanas. Garvat Tatratyan Prati Kataksha. Out of pride, he was being sarcastic towards the Yadavas. Nanu Rajanyatra Sankate Vada Kim Kartum Arhanti. So if one says that in this, when the child is dying, what can these princes do? Somebody is giving birth, child dying, what somebody else can do in this? Can someone stop the death? So what is the point in criticizing them? Tatra tarjanya darshanya ete brahmanatra satra yagam aste. So then he says they are not kshatriyas anyway, they are like brahmanas, as if they are doing some yagya. Tatkil palyamanam ime naasam arhanti vakrokti. Therefore they are not protecting the praja. It is their duty. But they are not doing their job properly. Dhanadara Atmaja Prikta Yatra Shochanti Brahmana Te Vairajanya Veshena Nata Jivanti Yasumbhara. He says a place where Brahmanas, they lose their wealth, their wife, their children, and they are in grief like that. Then those kings, they are only dressed as kings, but they are actually actors, stage actors, and they only live to maintain their body, nothing more than that. Means they are not qualified. Atratyanam Rajanya Bandhutve Pramanam Shrinu Ityaha. So as if Arjuna is trying to prove that these Yadavas are not Kshatriyas, otherwise why is that Brahmanas are suffering like this? Yatra Yeshu Jivatsu Sochanti. If the Brahmanas have to be in distress like this because of their loss of wealth or wife or children, that means the king, the princes, the kshatriyas are not doing their duty. Aham prajavam bhagwan rakshishye diniyoriha anistirna pratigyagnim pravekshe hatkalmasaha. So Arjuna comforts the Brahmana. He says, I will protect your children. And it looks like the Brahmana's wife was also there, because he says, I will protect you and your wife's both children, because you are in a very distressful situation. And if I am not able to protect, then I will enter into fire and give up my body. Pravekshe hatkalmase. So this is what he spoke. Vamiti mahashokene brahmanyapi monvatyas tatra agamnat. So the word vam means two of you. So it looks like that not only the Brahmana was there, but his wife also came. Although she did not speak, she was silent. Na nistirna kintu bhagna eva pratigya yasya tatha bhutas chedaham syam agni pravekshami. If I am not able to keep my word, then I will enter into fire. Tataiva hatkalmashe pratigya bhang laksham dos rahita. And this way I will atone for the sin of not keeping my word. So if you give a promise to somebody and you don't follow, you incur sin. So he says that I will be sinful if I don't keep my word. And as atonement for that, I will enter into fire. So this is what he spoke. So Brahmana was also not convinced very easily. So he also hit back at Arjuna. He says, what are you talking? Sri Brahmana Uvacha, Brahmana said, Sankarshano Vasudeva Pradyumno Dhanvinam Varaha Aniruddho Pratiratho Netratum Shaknuvanti Yat. That in fighting, they are unable to protect. So how do I trust that you are going to do this job which cannot be done by the Jagdishwaras? They are all the masters of the universe. He says, you are just acting childishly. Yes, you don't know what you are saying. So I don't trust you. Rather he says, he's not saying, who are you, but how can I trust you? Katat kathamnu bhavan karma duskaram. How are you going to do this impossible task? Therefore, how can I put my faith in you? So, na shraddhadmahe na vishvasimi. He says, I don't have any trust in you. So now Arjuna boasts. This is the same Arjuna who was trying to run away from Bhagavad Gita, first chapter. Katham bhisma maham sankhya dronam cha madhisudana ishubhi pratiyotsyami. So now he's saying, Naham sankarshano brahman na krishna karshnire aham varjuno nama gandivam yasya vaidhanu. He says, I am not Balram, I am not Krishna, I am not Pradyumna. Aniruddha, he doesn't even talk about him. He says, I am Arjuna. I have a Gandiv bow in my hand. So what is that you are talking about? You are insulting me. So this is called pride. Gandivam iti tad dhanu darshayati. Vishwanath Chakravarti says that he took out his Gandiv and he is showing him, look at this. None of these people have Gandiv. Only I have. Ma mansthas mama brahman viryam trembaka toshanam mrityum vijitya pradhanayane shete prajam prabho. He says, don't disrespect my valor, O Brahmana. I satisfied even Shiva in battle. I will fight with death in the battle and bring your children. I'm that powerful. Don't underestimate my power. Evam Vishrambhito Vipra Falgunena Parantapa Jagame Swagriham Prita Parthaviryam Nishamayan. So when he was convinced like this by Arjuna, then he went to his house being satisfied, hearing the valor of Parthaviryam Nishamayan. He was convinced, if this person is saying like this, he must have something. Prasuti kale asanne bharyaya dussattamaha pahi pahi praja mrityorityaha Arjuna matura. So after 1 year, when it was time for the wife to give birth, then he came to Arjuna and he said, please protect my child from death, O Arjuna. So in a great distressful mood, he came to Arjuna and he asked for help. Prasuti kale iti tadartham ekabdam Arjunasya dwarkayam eva vasa. So, because he called him at the time of birth, it seems like Arjuna stayed there for 1 year, waiting for that. Swapuradeva garapurtim gyatva punastatra agamavage. Or Arjuna went away, and then when he understood that almost 1 year is over, then he came back to Dwarka. It is to be understood like that. Anaya Arjuna miti bharya vachnad Ratro aneti ityahapahiti. So it is written in Harivansh Purana that it is the wife who called the husband that call Arjuna now because it's time for me to give birth. So it seems it was night time when Brahmana came to call Arjuna. So now we will see what Arjuna will do next class. If there is any question, this thing has gone again. So I cannot see it.
There is a question from Rakesh ji. Earlier you mentioned how the king is responsible for the collective karma of his subjects. Is this why sages or important swamis or religious figures are addressed as Maharaj?
No. That has nothing to do with that.
Babaji, can you tell me the difference between Asura and Rakshasa?
So Asuras are considered as Rajasic and Rakshasa are Tamasic. Although these words are used interchangeably, but they are different yonis, different species.
So they do have different qualities. That's why they are Rajasic.
Yeah.
There's a question from YouTube from the last class. Prabhu, while sitting and chanting our rounds, Mahamantra is good, but when we do our work, duties and other needful activities, which does not appear to be bhakti, how can we keep chanting this much long Mahamantra, as it distracts us from our work? In other sampradayas, while doing work, they have single name to chant like Ram, Radha, Hari Sharanam. So what single name should a Gaudiya Vaishnava chant while doing his duties so that we can remain God conscious while performing our duties?
Can chant Krishna's name. Just say Krishna, Krishna. Aditya.
Babaji, I think in the commentary on Shloka 16 you had mentioned that there's an alternative reading about there are 4 types of Vaidagya. So what are those 4 types of Vaidagya?
So 4 types of Vairagyas are mentioned there in the commentary by Jiva Goswami. So one is you are not able to give up the sense objects, but you try to give up at least the desire for respect. This is Sridhar Swami. This is called Yatman. They are actually mentioned in Sankhya philosophy. These 4 types. They are called Yatman, Vyatirek, Ekendriya and Vasikar. They are also mentioned in Yoga Sutra. If you have studied Yoga Sutra, they also come there in the first chapter. So Sridhar Swami is describing that to give up the desire for respect. Then the second one, he says to give up salt. That's what he's writing. Because salt gives taste to the food. It also brings passion. Mahatma Gandhi also gave up salt. If you read his book Experiments with the Truth, he writes that he gave up eating salt because he wanted to be brahmachari. The third one is to accept the sense objects as they come, not having any choice, I want this, I don't want this. And then the fourth one is the topmost one, which is called Ekendriya. So means having complete control. So these are called Yatman, Vyatirek, Ekendriya. And Vashikar. That's how they're described.
There is a question from Mohini. Can you explain difference between mukti and moksha?
There's no difference. Okay.